FRM Kevin Thorne, the vampire wrestler who now sells homes with custom championship belts for his clients, to Haku, the toughest man on the plane who now runs an auto detailing business in Florida, to Midian who once left the Ministry of Darkness and eventually became a professional chef, these WWE legends have moved on to surprisingly normal jobs. Kevin Thorne was one of the most memorable vampire characters in wrestling, and while many fans usually think of Gangrel when it comes to wrestling vampires, Kevin Thorne's dark and striking persona on WWE's ECW brand in the mid-2000s left a strong impression. But what happened to the man behind the dramatic cape and red contact lenses? Kevin Matthew Fertig, born January 17, 1977 in Memphis, Tennessee, has stepped away from the supernatural world and now works in a very real one. He helps families find their dream homes as a real estate agent in the Indianapolis metro area. Fertig's wrestling journey started with a random opportunity after he met Sid Vicious at a gym, which led him to begin training and eventually debut in 2000 for Memphis Championship Wrestling under the name 7. WWE signed him in April 2002 and sent him to their developmental system in Ohio Valley Wrestling, and by 2004 he appeared on SmackDown as Mordecai, a pale religious figure whose mission was to wipe out sin. After a bar fight incident that resulted in a lawsuit, he was released in July 2005. His time with WWE wasn't over, and in June 2006 Tommy Dreamer contacted him about joining the relaunched ECW brand.
Dreamer ended up calling me. He was like, so they're gonna have ECW on Sci-Fi. And he's like, I don't know if I like it, but they want a vampire.
As Kevin Thorne, debuting alongside Valet Ariel, he feuded with wrestlers like Balls Mahoney and took part in major matches, including an appearance at WrestleMania 23. He was eventually released in January 2009 after turning down a new contract. Today, Fertig works as a real estate agent in Fishers, Indiana for Real Broker LLC. He blends his wrestling past with his new career by designing custom championship belts for clients to wear at their closing and by using the slogan, "The Champ is Home." He often credits his wrestling career for teaching him the discipline and confidence that now help him succeed in real estate. Just as Kevin Thorne found a new life in real estate, another WWE star discovered her own path in guiding people toward their homes, but her journey began through one of WWE's most famous competitions. Layla El, born June 25, 1977 in London, England, became a familiar name to fans who watched the Divas division during its most competitive era. Before entering wrestling, she worked as a dancer for the Miami Heat NBA team, but her big break came when she won the 2006 WWE Diva Search, a victory that opened the door to a nearly decade-long career in WWE. Her achievements highlight her success, as she became the final WWE Women's Champion in 2010 and later captured the WWE Divas Championship in 2012. Many fans remember her most for her partnership with Michelle McCool as part of Les Cool, a team that controlled the Divas division with a bold heel attitude while also proving their strong in-ring skills and entertainment value. Over time, the demanding lifestyle began to wear her down, and on July 29, 2015, Layla retired from WWE because she wanted a more stable life away from the constant travel, injuries, and personal strain that come with wrestling. After leaving the ring, she earned her real estate license and moved into the industry, focusing on helping families find residential properties. While the details of her real estate firm or exact work location are not widely known, she entered the industry to explore new interests and find a healthier work-life balance after leaving WWE. Real estate allowed her to use her communication skills and business sense in a completely different field. Along with this, Layla also works as a makeup artist, a post-retirement path that fits naturally with her background in modeling, dance, and on-screen performance. This creative work gives her a way to express her artistic side outside of wrestling. She also stays connected with fans through conventions, autograph signings, and meet and greets at events like WrestleCon. In November 2015, she married former WWE wrestler Richard Young, better known as Ricky Ortiz, and the two now live in Arizona. In 2025, she announced her podcast Lay Talk, where she interviews former WWE divas about their careers and their lives after wrestling. While Layla built her post-wrestling life around real estate and beauty, another WWE legend went in a completely different direction, one involving animals and a peaceful island lifestyle. Ivory, whose real name is Lisa Mary Moretti, was born on November 26, 1961 in Englewood, California. Before becoming a three-time WWF Women's Champion, she was part of the vibrant and theatrical world of 1980s women's wrestling. Her career began in 1986 with the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, commonly known as Glow, where she wrestled as Tina Ferrari and even won both the Glow Championship and the Tag Team Championship. After Glow came to an end in 1990, she continued wrestling in other groups like Powerful Women of Wrestling under the name Nina and the Ladies Professional Wrestling Association. Her biggest break arrived in 1999 when she joined the World Wrestling Federation as Ivory, originally appearing as the valet for D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry, a role that quickly shifted into full-time competition. She went on to win the WWF Women's Championship 3 times. First in 1999, she won the title by defeating the Fabulous Moolah, then again in 2000 by beating the Cat in a 4-way match, and finally in 2001 when she defeated Chyna. She became a key member of the Right to Censor group from 2000 to 2001, playing a strict, conservative character who clashed with popular stars like Chyna and Lita. Her talent for drawing heat made her one of the most effective villains of the Attitude Era. Ivory also became the final women's champion before the title was retired in 2005, and although she was later released, she returned briefly as a Tough Enough trainer and made occasional WWE appearances. Her impact on women's wrestling was recognized when she was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018. After stepping away from full-time wrestling in 2006, Moretti didn't disappear from the spotlight, but instead followed her true passion for animals. She opened Downtown Dog, a grooming, daycare, and boarding business in Friday Harbor on San Juan Island in Washington. Running this pet care facility allowed her to focus on something she genuinely loved, providing a peaceful change from the hectic world of wrestling. Based on recent updates, she still operates the business and continues to make occasional WWE appearances during special events like Legends Nights or Hall of Fame ceremonies. Life on San Juan Island gives her the quiet and comfort she never had during her road-heavy wrestling career, letting her enjoy a simpler life surrounded by animals. Moretti also stays active on social media, keeping in touch with fans who followed her from her Glow days through her WWE run. Moving from Ivory's peaceful island life to the hard-edged streets of Pennsylvania, our next WWE legend took his intimidating persona and used it to help people during their most critical moments. Steve Blackman, the bail bondsman, was born on October 10, 1963 in Annville, Pennsylvania, and became one of WWE's most distinctive characters. Known as the Lethal Weapon, Blackman had genuine martial arts credentials, with training in Taekwondo, Karate, and Jiu-Jitsu. He wasn't pretending to be tough, he truly was, and his quiet, no-nonsense personality helped make him a fan favorite throughout the Attitude Era. Blackman's WWF debut came in 1997 after time spent in developmental territories, and he quickly made a name for himself as a weapon-wielding hardcore specialist. He won the WWF Hardcore Championship 6 times, often in wild matches filled with kendo sticks and improvised weapons. Fans remember standout moments like his tag team with Al Snow as part of the Head Cheese duo and his intense feud with Shane McMahon, which included a dramatic fall from a high scaffold at SummerSlam 2000. Yet Blackman's career was almost over before it even truly started. In the late 1980s, while training in South Africa, he contracted malaria and dysentery so severe that he nearly died, losing more than 40 pounds and spending 2 full years recovering, which pushed back his WWF opportunity by a significant margin. Later on, additional injuries, including a serious neck issue, led to his release from WWE in 2002. After his departure, Blackman stepped away from wrestling and turned his attention to business. He first opened a 5,000-square-foot gym in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in 2002, which catered to mixed martial artists and offered self-defense training under the name Blackman MMA. By the mid-2000s, he shifted careers again and entered the bail bonds industry, launching and running Blackman Bail Bonds in Harrisburg.
Now, there's an easier way to do this. If you want out of jail, call Blackman for bail. As a former WWF wrestler, I guarantee we can slam the competition.
Blackman has described this career as steady and private, giving him the chance to stay in his hometown while avoiding the physical punishment that wrestling once brought him. He rarely appears at wrestling conventions or reunions, choosing instead to keep his personal life quiet, although he still teaches martial arts on the side in a low-profile way. In a rare July 2025 interview with Chris Van Vliet, his first in 18 years, Blackman opened up about his near-fatal illness in Africa, reflected on his WWE run, and even admitted that the idea of returning to wrestling has crossed his mind, though he also said he is fully satisfied with his current life. While Steve Blackman built a future in the bail bonds world, another respected wrestling veteran took a different path that allowed him to serve his community through education and real estate deep in the state of Georgia. Rick Steiner, born Robert R. Rex Steiner on March 9, 1961 in Bay City, Michigan, became widely known for his work as one half of the powerhouse tag team the Steiner Brothers alongside his younger brother Scott. Rick controlled the tag divisions of several major promotions throughout the 1980s and 1990s, but even before his professional wrestling fame, he was a standout amateur wrestler at the University of Michigan, where he finished second in the Big Ten Championships in 1983, qualified for the NCAA tournament, and set a school record with a rapid 15-second pin. After earning his bachelor's degree in education, he made the transition to professional wrestling in 1983. In 1989, he officially teamed with Scott to form the Steiner Brothers, and together they dominated the tag team scene, winning the NWA World Tag Team Championship from the Freebirds and later collecting 7 WCW World Tag Team Championships. Their jump to WWF in 1992 led to even more success as they captured the WWF Tag Team Championship twice for money. Incorporated. Rick also had success as a singles competitor, holding the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship after defeating Shane Douglas in 2001 and earning the WCW World Television Championship 3 times. His final match took place on September 19, 2019 for Tokyo Championship Wrestling in 2022. The Steiner Brothers were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. After growing tired of the demanding wrestling schedule and long stretches away from his family, Steiner stepped back from full-time competition and moved toward a more stable career. Since 2004, he has worked as a licensed real estate agent in the North Metro Atlanta area, running Rick Steiner and Associates under the Atlanta Community Real Estate Brokerage. His firm focuses on commercial land and residential properties and primarily serves Cherokee, Cobb, Forsyth, and Fulton counties in Georgia. In 2025, Rick Steiner and Associates ranked number 3 in the brokerage for total units closed. Outside of real estate, Steiner has also played a major role in local education, serving on the Cherokee County Board of Education for District 4 since 2006 after winning as a write-in candidate. He was first appointed in 2005 to fill a vacant seat and later served 1 year as board chair. Steiner considers this position one of his greatest accomplishments because it allows him to influence decisions that affect more than 40,000 students in the district. His current term runs until 2026. He lives in Georgia with his family and has 3 sons, including Bronson Recksteiner, known to WWE fans as Braun Breaker. These everyday careers reflect a conscious shift toward stability, community service, and family life after the intense pace of professional wrestling. While Rick Steiner devoted his post-wrestling years to education and real estate, another WWE veteran discovered his passion in a completely different field centered on craft, creativity, and cuisine. Midian, whose real name is Dennis Knight, was born on December 26, 1968 in Clearwater, Florida. Knight's path into wrestling began after a shoulder injury ended his football ambitions, leading him to train under Steve Keirn and start competing on the Florida independent scene, where he used characters like the Masked Leatherface. He signed with WWF in 1996 and debuted as Phineas I. Godwin, a pig farmer gimmick paired with Henry O. Godwin. The Godwins won the WWF Tag Team Championships twice, but it was Knight's move into darker roles that truly shaped his presence during the Attitude Era. In 1999, he was kidnapped in a storyline by The Undertaker and re-emerged as Midian, a loyal member of the Ministry of Darkness, complete with an eye tattoo on his forehead and involvement in eerie, supernatural-themed angles. His final WWE persona was the comedic Naked Midian, where he wrestled wearing only a thong and a fanny pack, a lighter role that allowed him to keep performing despite the growing physical wear on his body. Knight also held the WWF European Championship once and took part in many chaotic hardcore matches. Known for his adaptability, he was a member of the Bone Street Crew alongside The Undertaker. Wrestlers like Rob Van Dam have called him the funniest person in the locker room, and John Bradshaw Layfield praised him as one of the very best to work with. Knight left WWE in 2000 when the physical demands of wrestling, including spinal fractures that affected feeling in his lower body, became too severe. He spent a brief period working on the independent scene but fully retired around 2006 to follow a long-standing passion for cooking inspired by his grandparents, one a butcher and the other a hospital dietitian. Now 56, Knight lives in Clearwater, Florida, where he works as a professional chef. He owns and runs Dennis Knight Catering, which focuses on high-end multi-course meals for private events, parties, and intimate dinners. He sharpened his culinary skills at upscale locations like Café Ponte under Chef Chris Ponte and at the Sand Pearl Resort, learning techniques used in fine dining. He has appeared on the Food Network and competed in the 2021 Favorite Chef contest. Knight also spends time writing, including a screenplay featuring The Undertaker, and occasionally talks wrestling on podcasts such as 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway. Despite recent health challenges, Knight has remained resilient. In 2023, a heavy speed rack fell on his right foot at work, crushing it and causing an infection that ultimately required the amputation of all his toes on that foot. Early in 2024, he faced another life-threatening incident, undergoing emergency surgery for a shredded appendix, hernia, and a golf ball-sized abscess, which he described as a near-death experience. Through it all, Knight has stayed positive, focusing on his recovery and running his catering business, showing that life after wrestling can be just as rewarding, even when it's served on a plate rather than in the ring. Moving from one life-changing challenge to another, our next WWE legend also endured a serious health crisis that led him to reinvent his life and pursue a career in security. Rico Constantino was born on January 3, 1961 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and before gaining fame for his flamboyant WWE persona, he was an American Gladiators winner, demonstrating his athleticism on national television. His path to WWE was far from typical, as he began wrestling training at the age of 38 after years working in security and as a bodyguard. After training under Jesse Hernandez for 8 months, he was signed to a WWE developmental contract and made his WWE debut in his 40s, an age that is highly unusual for a wrestler entering the company.
In fact, the Brooklyn Brawler came up to me and said, "You're debuting and you're 40? I retired at 40. What's wrong with it?"
Rico Constantino is best remembered for managing the controversial tag team Billy and Chuck, a storyline that pushed boundaries during the Attitude Era. Outside the ring, he has an extensive background in martial arts, bodyguarding, and security work, reflecting a career that spans both athletic and protective professions.
Martial arts, yep. Bodyguarding and security. I did that. A police officer, stuntman. I played Batman at Six Flags, and I was Conan in the Conan show at the Universal.
Rico Constantino's career extended far beyond wrestling, including work with high-level diplomats and meetings with 4 different national leaders, among them Yitzhak Rabin before his assassination. He also made headlines for an act of heroism on a flight, stopping a violent passenger who was attacking others mid-air. However, Rico's life took a dramatic turn when he faced serious health issues, which he addressed on January 4th after a friend introduced him to veganism and juicing, resulting in the complete disappearance of blood clots in his legs. While his security career was remarkable, his health recovery through lifestyle changes became his most significant achievement, proving that some of the toughest battles happen outside the ring. From one resilient figure to perhaps the toughest of them all, our next WWE legend earned a reputation as the baddest man on the planet, and his current occupation may surprise as much as his legendary fearlessness. Haku, born Tonga Uli Fitiita on February 10, 1959 in Nuku'alofa, the capital of Tonga, began his journey in combat sports at just 15 when the King of Tonga selected him as one of 6 young men to train in sumo in Japan. Competing under the name Fukunoshima Hiroshi, Fifita achieved a record of 48 wins, 25 losses, and 4 draws, reaching the rank of Makushita 27 before a dispute with a stable successor led to his retirement in 1976. He transitioned to professional wrestling in 1978 after training under Giant Baba in Japan and debuted in WWF in 1985 as King Tonga, gaining notoriety for body-slamming Big John Studd. In 1986, he formed the tag team The Islanders with Tama Sam Fatu, turned heel, and feuded with teams like the British Bulldogs, including a memorable storyline kidnapping of their mascot, Matilda. He later became King Haku and teamed with Andre the Giant in the Colossal Connection, capturing the WWF Tag Team Championship from Demolition in 1989 in WCW. Fifita returned in 1994 under the name Meng, forming the tag team Faces of Fear with the Barbarian. He feuded with legends like Hulk Hogan, Sting, and Bill Goldberg, famously challenging Goldberg during his undefeated streak in 1998. Meng captured the WCW Hardcore Championship in 2001, becoming its final holder before the company closed. Known for his legendary toughness, Fifita earned the nickname the baddest man on the planet, with stories including a 1989 bar fight where he allegedly bit off a man's nose and another incident where he bit through a man's shirt and spat out a piece of his back after being attacked with a pool cue. He is considered part of the Anoa'i wrestling family through close ties, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson referring to him as Uncle Tonga. Married to Dorothy Kalawama Tangi since 1977, Fifita has 4 children, including sons Tavita, Tonga, Alapate Tamatanga, and Tala Hikuo, all of whom have pursued careers in WWE. In 2025, He made his first WWE appearance in over 23 years when he attended the Hall of Fame ceremony for Lex Luger. Essentially retired from full-time wrestling since 2005, Fifita now lives a quieter life in Kissimmee, Florida near Poinciana, and works a regular job, managing the auto detailing department at David Mouse Toyota, now part of Central Florida Toyota. This transition from one of wrestling's most feared competitors to ensuring every car leaves sparkling is remarkable. But not every post-wrestling journey is so peaceful, especially when legal troubles arise, as with our next WWE figure, Ted DiBiase Jr. Born Theodore Marvin DiBiase Jr. on November 8, 1982 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he carried the legacy of a legendary wrestling family into WWE. His father, Ted DiBiase Sr., is a WWE Hall of Famer known as the Million Dollar Man, and his grandfather, Iron Mike DiBiase, also left a notable mark in wrestling, placing high expectations on young Ted. Excelling in sports during his youth, he was the starting quarterback at Clinton High School, graduating in 2001, and went on to play football and soccer at Mississippi College, where he earned a Bachelor of Science and a Bachelor of Business Administration in 2005. He began his professional wrestling career in 2006 after training at Harley Race's Wrestling Academy and signed a WWE developmental contract in July 2007. He debuted on WWE's main roster in May 2008 as a heel, forming a tag team with Cody Rhodes and capturing the World Tag Team Championship twice that year. In 2009, he joined the Legacy faction alongside Randy Orton and Rhodes, competing in major events like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Later, he adopted a millionaire gimmick, receiving the $1 Million Championship from his father in 2010, though injuries including a broken ankle and shoulder surgery in 2012 kept him sidelined. His final WWE match took place in May 2013, and he left the company when his contract expired on September 1, 2013, citing family priorities, depression, and anxiety as reasons for declining a 5-year extension. After WWE, DiBiase Jr. turned to entrepreneurship and philanthropy, founding the Ted DiBiase Foundation in May 2012 to organize meet and greets for fans with illnesses or disabilities and to develop youth leadership programs. He has also been active in his family's Heart of David Ministry, a Christian outreach organization, and held executive roles in business, including Vice President of Business Development for One Life and a leadership position at collegegale.com. Recent reports show him working at a summer camp focused on motivating underprivileged teens through speaking engagements. However, DiBiase Jr.'s post-WWE life has been overshadowed by serious legal troubles. In May 2022, the Mississippi Department of Human Services sued him, his father, Brother Brett, and others to recover over $20 million in misappropriated funds from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, alleging that his companies received more than $3 million between 2017 and 2019 through fraudulent speaking engagements, money he is accused of using for personal purchases including a house, boat, and vehicle. On April 20, 2023, the U.S. Department of Justice indicted Ted DiBiase Jr. on federal charges, including 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and theft, 6 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of theft concerning federal programs, and 4 counts of money laundering. He pleaded not guilty and was released on a $10,000 bond. If convicted on all counts, he faces up to 45 years in prison, with his trial delayed multiple times and now scheduled for early 2026. DiBiase Jr. married his high school sweetheart, Kristen, on October 30, 2008, and they have 2 children, son Tate McKinley, born May 15, 2012, and daughter Ava, born in 2018. As of November 2025, he has retired from wrestling and is focusing on business, charity, and family while navigating his ongoing legal case. While DiBiase Jr.'s post-wrestling story remains uncertain, another WWE personality discovered her calling in a completely different industry, balancing occasional wrestling appearances with a surprisingly conventional career. Vickie Guerrero, born Vickie Lynn Lara on April 16, 1968 in El Paso, Texas, became one of professional wrestling's most memorable on-screen authority figures despite never being a full-time wrestler. She is the widow of WWE Hall of Famer Eddie Guerrero, and her family ties to the Guerrero wrestling dynasty shaped much of her storylines. Guerrero's journey in wrestling began tragically after Eddie passed away from heart failure on November 13, 2005. She accepted his posthumous WWE Hall of Fame induction in 2006 and soon turned heel, aligning with her nephew Chavo Guerrero Jr. in feuds against Rey Mysterio and Chris Benoit. From 2007 to 2011, she served as SmackDown general manager and led La Familia alongside her on-screen romantic partner Edge, helping secure titles and making controversial decisions, including banishing The Undertaker. Between 2010 and 2012, she managed Dolph Ziggler in a romantic storyline, assisting him in winning the United States Championship while acting as Raw managing supervisor. From 2012 to 2014, she oversaw matches, feuded with AJ Lee, and was ultimately fired in a pudding match against Stephanie McMahon at Payback 2014. Her villainous persona, accentuated by her signature catchphrase, "Excuse me," drew enormous heat from audiences, cementing her as one of WWE's most effective heels. After 2014, Vickie Guerrero made occasional WWE appearances, including entering the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble, where she was eliminated after 57 seconds. Following her departure from WWE to focus on family, she earned a Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Administration from Herzing University in 2019 and became certified as a medical office administrator, working for a pharmaceutical company in that role. By mid-2025, reports indicated she had shifted careers again, this time working as a travel agent in Texas. Guerrero launched the podcast Excuse Me, The Vickie Guerrero Show in 2019, sharing wrestling stories, personal experiences, and life advice, and also became a Twitch streamer under the handle ExcuseMev, focusing on gaming and lifestyle content. She joined All Elite Wrestling, AEW, in 2019 as a guest commentator and later managed Nyla Rose from 2020 to 2023, though her AEW contract was not renewed in February 2023. Currently, Guerrero is signed to WWE as an ambassador, a role that involves occasional appearances and promotional work rather than full-time involvement. Reports from June and July 2025 indicated she was planning a return, which came to fruition at the Evolution Premium Live event in July, marking a semi-retirement phase where she balances ambassador duties with her work in the travel industry. Guerrero has two daughters, Almarie Guerrero, born October 14, 1990 and married to wrestler Aiden English, and Cherilyn Amber Guerrero, born July 8, 1995. She remarried Chris Benson on September 12, 2015. While Vickie Guerrero successfully balanced her iconic, "Excuse Me" persona with conventional work, our final WWE legend transformed his in-ring persona into a wellness empire that has helped thousands reclaim their health and mobility. Diamond Dallas Page, born Page Joseph Fahlenberg Jr. on April 5, turned his post-wrestling career into a pioneering fitness and rehabilitation business after leaving the ring.
You see his yoga program?
I heard it's really good.
It's really good. And
You've tried it?
I've done a lot of his exercises.
Wow.
And he's developed it specifically for guys that are like coming off of pro wrestling and their bodies all beat up.
Yeah.
He's taken a lot of these guys and brought them back to health.
Jake the Snake Roberts. I saw Jake the Snake Roberts right as he was starting. He looked bad. And now I see him, I'm like, this dude is rejuvenated. He's a new man.
Yeah, he's a new man.
Page's wrestling career began in 1979 with 3 matches before a knee injury forced him into a temporary retirement. He returned in 1988 as a manager in the AWA, guiding various groups to tag team championships. In WCW, Page rose to major stardom, capturing 3 WCW World Heavyweight Championships, 2 United States Heavyweight Championships, 4 World Tag Team Championships, and 1 World Television Championship. Later, in WWE, he won the European Championship and a World Tag Team Championship before retiring in 2002 due to lingering injuries.
And, you know, when Dallas came up with it, his back was fucked up.
Yeah.
His back is like pretty bone on bone, but because it's so strong and he does so much yoga, like he has incredible flexibility.
Wow.
He can just grab his foot and like do like a standing
Really?
split. Yeah, man. He did it in front of us at the gym.
Really?
Didn't even warm up. Dude's in his 60s.
Since 2012, Page has gained widespread attention through his fitness program, particularly after a viral video featuring veteran Arthur Berman regaining mobility. He is now the CEO of DDP Yoga and Power Cuffs, a line of fitness accessories, and an author of books such as Positively Unstoppable and Yoga for Regular Guys. Page is also a motivational speaker, hosting DDP Radio and co-hosting the DDP Snake Pit podcast with Jake Roberts since 2022. In 2024, he signed a WWE Legends contract, allowing occasional appearances while focusing on his wellness empire. His work emphasizes helping others overcome health challenges, including assisting former wrestler Lex Luger with spinal recovery by February 2025. Page has produced documentaries like The Resurrection of Jake the Snake in 2015 and the 2025 series Change or Die, which follows 5 individuals transforming their lives through his program. In October 2025, he faced a health scare with atrial fibrillation during a workout, requiring cardioversion to stabilize his heart, but he updated fans on his recovery, focusing on light DDP yoga stretches and maintaining a positive outlook. Despite this setback, he continues to promote his wellness work and share motivational content on social media. His account remains active with over 521,000 followers, sharing tips, program successes, and encouraging reviews of his documentary series. Page's journey proves that life after wrestling can be deeply fulfilling when dedicated to health, community, and creating your own meaningful path.